Welcome to episode number 37 of the Think Like a Marketer show. Yes, it is a new time. We normally have the show at 10 a.m. For those of you who are just recognizing that I actually have a show because you're working at 10 a.m. Well, congratulations. I've changed it and it's 7 p.m. And you should be home relaxing and ready to enjoy a great show that we have for today. Hey, if you could do me a favor, put a 1 if you're watching live in the comments section there. If you're watching it on the replay, put a 2. That's 1 for live and 2 for the replay. So I have to say the topic for the day is something that a lot of us struggle with in the business world, maybe in general with your brand, and that is how do you break through the noise of and get to the person that you really want to talk to, your ideal client. How do you do that? The guest that I'm going to bring on today is going to actually share some of those tips that she does with working with some of her clients. And she has a really good story. And her and I, how we met, actually have a really great story that has turned into a really good friendship, partnership, and working together. So my guest today is a fitness and lifestyle coach. She's the founder of Empowering Women Through Fitness group. She has won Miss Mexico Fitness Model Championship. It's a 2014 Great North Fitness Model Champion. You know, anytime that I have to read anything, I always screw it up. And if I just try to just do it naturally, I somehow do not screw that up. But I want to bring, because it's just such an exciting show to have her on, that she took the time to come on, and I want to bring her on right now, and that is Bridget Therese. Hey, Bridget, how are you? Can you hear me?
That's such a mouthful.
That is such a mouthful. I know, because I had to say it.
That's okay. So happy to be here. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to talk social media and business and kind of just something a little bit different from my normal.
Oh, man. You know, it's always fun when you most of the guests that I interview, I don't know as well as I know you. So it sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad when you have a guest on. You don't know what they're about, and they were good on paper, but then when you had them on the show, they were like, not that good. But I know that you're a rock star in everything that you do. You put 100% in, and for the ladies out there that are watching. You have a show.
I do, yes.
You recorded your show. What is it? Last week was your first episode, right?
Yes. So January 24th was my first, my premiere episode where I launched my Empowering Women Through Fitness, the talk show. So last week I introduced the show. I talked a lot about where Empowering Women Through Fitness came from, kind of my personal story and some of my journey. And then this tomorrow, this Thursday, I'm going to have my first guest, Sarah May Hollinsworth. She has an amazing story, so I'm so excited for her to share. But the goal of my show is to share inspiring stories from women, and I do have women from all around the world, so I'm so excited about that. But they're going to be coming on every week onto my Facebook Live, and we're going to be talking about all the struggles and all the challenges we face as women, and all the opportunities that we have to overcome.
So when you were thinking about like creating a show, what made you, specifically pick women? I'm sure that there was a reason why you wanted to pick working with women.
Yes, I think I have, and this kind of goes along the lines of social media. I do have a good number of gentlemen that follow me, and I'm grateful for them. They're great supporters and stuff too, but I relate the most to women. And as a woman, I've gone through a lot of different struggles that, whether it be, divorce or I lost a baby, I've, been in toxic relationships, or just different things that a lot of other women have gone through. And I can't necessarily speak from a man's perspective, so I know what it's like to go through it as a woman. So that was kind of how I was just like, I'm going to focus where I'm comfortable in my lane. And I know you're always supposed to push yourself out of your comfort zone, but this is kind of my lane, and it's really where I feel like I'm supposed to be right now. So that's kind of why I just wanted to gear it towards women and focus on women as my topics and my subjects and all the things that we go through.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than someone who tries to be a coach or whatever it is, and they've never actually experienced.
Yes.
It's like a relationship coach, and they've never been married or never had
Right.
a long-term relationship. Like, how can you take somebody serious? The unfortunate part for people like yourself and myself, whenever you go through struggles, whether it be life and death, like with the death of your child, which is just, there couldn't be anything worse than that.
Right.
And all of the divorce and those types of things, is that you have a different perspective of the feeling that you feel. And there's just something magical about, or connection, not magical, when you have someone else who has gone through that, and they're just starting out in that phase, and you're like, look, you'll make it. I know exactly what you're going through, and here's some things that you can do that I learned over time. So that's, I think that's wise of you to niche it to something that you're passionate about and you know a lot about, and you had the unfortunate experience of going through those types of things.
Yeah.
So people are like, what does all of that have to do with creating content for your ideal client? Well, I'm here to say that it has everything to do with it, because it is giving your clients an inside look on who you are, and then you understanding and having an inside look on who your clients are is going to make all the difference in the world on what type of content that you should create. So I want to give you the opportunity to explain like some of the things that you experience when you're creating content for your clients. And, first off, the struggle you go through when you have to, initially convince somebody that you can't talk to everyone.
Correct. Right. Well, it kind of goes back to what you said just a minute ago. When you're trying, you don't want to be someone you're not, and you relate the most to someone who's been through your experiences. Like I remember, and I think many people can probably even relate to this. So you go to counseling and they go through this little script and they have their notebook and they have no clue what you've actually been through. And you just don't relate to that. So when you're actually doing your social media, when you're doing your content and you have specific clients that you're trying to reach, don't try to be somebody else. Stay in your lane. So when I say women is my target or women is who I want to relate to, it's because I'm comfortable in that. I know I can speak to that. I'm confident in that. And that is really in my lane in my audience. So if I were trying to either start, I don't know, like a bodybuilding show for men, that wouldn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? So you really have to stay where you are confident, where you're comfortable, what you're knowledgeable about. And of course, there's always going to be more to learn. So you got to start where you're at. But when you're creating content, really focus on what it is that you're an expert in, and don't try to go outside of that. Like stay focused on that, and like that's where you will be successful.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the people who are in marketing and they really truly understand what marketing means, that it's not actually an event, and it's not all it's not tactics and then strategy. It's the other way around. In part, the first part of strategy is who we trying to talk to.
Yeah.
Because if you're trying to, I mean, some of it's obvious, right? If you're trying to sell, toys, well, you put your toy commercial on Nickelodeon. You don't put it on Fox News.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the only way that you know that is because your target market are kids.
Yeah.
McDonald's is the best example. I know you have your son and my daughter. It's like, and I do not like her eating that. But somehow the power of her persuasion, and maybe it's because I'm a dad and I just can't resist. And she somehow knows how to convince me to just go through that drive-through.
Yeah.
Do you struggle with that too?
Say that again?
I know that you're a little bit more strict on food than
I usually drive through the Chick-fil-A. That's my method.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is good too.
I like Chick-fil-A. Yeah.
So now something that you and I have in common that maybe everyone doesn't know is that my daughter's in Chicago and your son is in Michigan, right?
Yes, they're both in the polar vortex or whatever that freezing cold weather is that's going on right now.
I know. I talked to my daughter. Yeah. She was like, "Oh yeah, I don't have school because it's like -20."
I know, it's crazy. Yeah, neither does Christian. Yeah, that was one of the things I think we kind of bonded over when I first met you, actually probably 2 or 3 years ago now.
Yep.
You were the first person I met that traveled as often as I do to see your child. So
I know. It's like I couldn't believe there was someone else who was doing it, making the trek. Yeah.
Especially in the Midwest too, of all places.
I know it, right?
Yeah.
Yours is probably a little bit harder than mine. I fly, Chicago is a busy airport, lots of flights. Do you go direct, or is there a
I do go direct, actually. So it's not too bad. It's about 2.5 hours. So
Oh, okay.
I always tell my baby, I'm only 2 hours away. I'll be right there. but yeah, no.
And I take it you're a Packers fan.
I am. I am from Wisconsin, so I do have that football. I grew up in the Brett Favre era. I already started watching football in the Brett Favre era, so this season was disappointing. But
how could you not like Brett Favre?
Oh, he's amazing. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes reminds me of Brett Favre. Just the way he's so young and just ambitious and throws the ball and whatever happens. And
right. I think everyone who's a football fan should at least make a trek and go and watch a game in they play the game. What is the city that it's in? It's not
Green Bay.
Green Bay. Yeah, Green Bay. Yeah. And just like the whole town.
Yes, it transforms.
It's transformed. It's like amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And you know what it is? It's a testament to a great community. Like that's what that's what football, I think, does to people. It's like some people are like, I don't see why people watch football. Well, the thing about sports is it's one thing that everybody could have in common and come together and bond over. And, if you watch CNN and Fox, they're trying to rip us apart.
Right, exactly.
So, when you're working with a client and you're saying, hey, we need to, sit down and figure out what is this ideal client. What are some of the things that you try to talk about and get them to discuss with you, so you know what content can best get the attention of who they want? Yeah. Do you have some techniques that you use?
Really, it is like I've been going to a lot of network meetings. So when someone says anybody who's my client, like it's kind of, I'm like, no, not everybody is your client. Because if like the whole world is your client, how are you going to zero in on that? So if everybody is your client, I usually suggest that they pick either an age range or a vicinity or something like that, so that they can kind of zero down and have something to focus on. Because if you're so broad, it's going to be overwhelming. Like I could say for my social media business, I'm going to target all gyms. Well, when I pull up the list of all the gyms in Houston, even, it's enormous. So I have to narrow it down to a particular area. So really having your ideal client and knowing who they are. I went through this exercise for my fitness coaching, because I don't want to coach bodybuilders. I don't want to coach physique competitors. I don't want to coach men, and no offense, but like I want to stay in my lane. So I had to really kind of create who my ideal client was. Like, who is somebody like me, or somebody has similarities to me, either moms, working moms, entrepreneur moms, or different, kind of just start thinking about that and narrowing it down, so that I'm not talking to everybody. So once you know who your target audience is, and this is what I do with my social media clients, this is what I do in my fitness coaching business as well, is then you tailor your content to them. So like my video a couple of days ago or yesterday was like, hey ladies, and I still will get guys who watch it, and that's fine, but then messages for the ladies that I want to reach. Or if I talk about skipping the gym today because the weather's nice, and go getting a workout in with your kids at the park, in my head, I'm talking to moms with children who maybe don't have time to drop everything they're doing on a Saturday to go to the gym, or they have their kids home that day. So let's all go to the park and do something like that. So when you tailor your content to your ideal client, your content is going to be more relevant. Like if I was to just say something more broad, like it's hard to even give an example of like something really broad, but like, hey, I do fitness coaching for everybody. Like not everybody's going to be like, oh, okay. But if I talk to like, hey, I'm a busy mom, hey, I'm doing this, or hey, I can relate to you on this subject, it's going to be more attention grabbing, because you're going to be like, ooh, she knows what I'm going through. And if she can do it, then she's the person I want to help me with.
Yeah. I always use I use a couple of different examples. I use, one, just like if you were going to go to get an education, would you say, oh, I'm just going to go to the university, I just want to get educated? Yeah. In what? Like just everything. Like, no, you do not. Or if you want to go to the doctor, you know, who would you want to send the person that you value the most if they had a heart attack? Would you send them to a family practitioner, or would you send them to a cardiologist who's like
Right.
specializes in the heart?
Exactly.
And they're like,
Exactly.
I would send them to the cardiologist. That's obvious. Yeah. And wouldn't
Yeah.
you expect to pay more? Yeah. That's why you need to know who your target market is, because once you connect with them,
Right.
they only really honestly want to work with somebody. Like you said, you know, in fitness, it's a common, and I'll be honest, I didn't really understand that there was just so many different types of fitness or personal trainer or fitness coaches. Like you said,
Mhm.
like there's the, what's like the bathing suit, not the bathing suit, like there's
The competition coaches.
yeah, the competition coaches, there's bodybuilding. Those are totally different.
Totally
Um,
different.
there's, just like, wow, I didn't realize there
Yeah.
was, I thought there was just like, hey, get fit and put on a bathing suit and just walk out
Right.
there.
No, no, not at all. It's definitely. I mean, if you think about it, like especially when it comes to like say Facebook ads for something like that, if you had a product or a program or something you're trying to sell, you can't put the whole United States in, because one, that's going to cost a crap ton of money to advertise the whole United States. But they have all of those categories in there for a reason, because they want you to help narrow it down. Like nobody has enough money to market to the entire USA and make sure every single person sees their ad. So they're gonna think about it. If you ever go, it's kind of like target marketing. So think about if you ever go to a website and then all of a sudden whatever product you're searching for starts showing up everywhere. It used to creep me out. Now I understand how it works. So like, for example, yes, I ate Domino's Pizza. I ordered Domino's Pizza once, and then like the next few days, Facebook was telling me, order Domino's Pizza, or Google, like those searches. So they target marketed me because they knew I had Domino's once. Well, if I do it once, well, she will do it again.
Right.
So having all those outline or those guidelines for narrowing down on your market are there for a reason, so that you can zero in on your client and the most bang for your buck, but also tailor your message, tailor your content to that person or that individual that you know needs your product or your services.
Right. I think, and tell me if you experience this too. When you're working with people, you're advising them that you need to learn to say no to the right people,
Mm-hmm.
and the right people meaning the people who aren't your target market. Like if you say, I want to help women who recently had a kid, well, why are you working with a
Yeah.
guy that men
Yeah.
don't have kids? Because
Yeah.
it pulls you
I
away
got.
from. Yeah, exactly. It pulls you away from
Yeah.
understanding what are the challenges that someone who recently had a baby are
Yeah.
having, and you don't have to study anything else about fitness.
Exactly. Yeah, I had to think about it too, because I was getting quite a few messages from guys asking me for help on their programs, and I was just like, I mean, as much as I would love to help them, I'm like, I got to refer you out to one of my guys who does the male coaching, because I don't want to even pretend that I know what I'm doing when it comes to males. So I'm just going to put you in the hands of somebody who's much more capable than I am. And I would ask them to, like, you know, that's not my cup of tea, but that's not my area of expertise. Is it okay if I refer you out to one of my good friends that can help you with this? And of course they always
Right.
say yes. And then it's up to them to work out if it's a good fit or not. But not everybody, even if they seem like you're an ideal client, especially in a coaching setting, is going to be somebody you want to work with.
Right.
So and it's okay. It's when you're starting out, it's hard to accept that, because you just want to make money and be successful and get some things underneath your belt. But not everybody is going to be a good fit for you to work with. And as sooner you learn that and you're okay with, like, you know what, if they say no to my services, if they're not able to pay what I'm asking for, I'm not going to lower my prices to accommodate them, because they're going to probably not be a very good client in the first place. You really want people who are going to value you, your time, and pay for your services, what you're asking for.
Right. And the data says that you're right. I mean, if you look at even all the way back to, what was the guy who did Tybo? What was that? Do you remember him? Billy
I
something.
don't remember his name, but I know what you're talking about.
He made like millions of dollars, and he just did
Yeah.
Tybo. And then there was the 5-minute abs guy. He made almost $100 million, and he just did abs. And there's the Brazilian butt guy,
Yeah.
same thing. It was like all of those had a common theme, which was they just specialized in one area. That's all they talked about. That's all, everything. And even up recently, if you there's a lady boss. I think she has like 150,000 subscribers that pay her $27 a month.
That's crazy.
She just works with women, and I mean, everything about her, the colors, because it's pink.
Yeah.
The lady boss says that, it kind of implies who she's targeting. And then
Right.
everything
Right.
that she makes and does revolves around, the ladies. And
Exactly.
she kills it. So it makes it easy to say no when you're making a lot of money. But like you said in the beginning, resisting the urge to like, I desperately need money, it
Mm-hmm.
it actually sets you back
Yeah.
when you're trying to move forward, because now you're working with people and creating stuff for them that's keeping you from creating stuff for your ideal people.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So lesson number one in creating great content for your ideal client to get their attention is know who they are.
Exactly. Yeah. Step number one, know
Yeah.
who you are. And then if I were to add another step to that, one thing I end up telling a lot of either professionals or businesses, but when it comes to your personal Facebook page, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that does that, but if you reach out to somebody, say, and we can continue using fitness as an example, say somebody reaches out to you or suggests that you work with somebody because they're really good at fitness. I guarantee you the first thing you're going to do is go look at their Instagram. You're going to go look at their Facebook and see if their personal profile reflects what this person told you or what they told you.
Right.
So my advice to you is, if somebody pulls up your Facebook profile and say you're either a life coach, a fitness coach, a marketing person, if you don't have that bio right underneath your phone, underneath your profile picture, I'll show you what I mean. I'll use mine as an example, and I'm not sure how it'll show here, but if there's this little section right here that has your bio, and if that doesn't tell somebody right away what you're doing, when they get to your profile and your picture doesn't reflect what you're doing, then that is step number one to make sure that your profile tells the story of what you do. So when someone comes to mind, they're going to see, yes, right away that first they'll see I'm a host. They're going to see I'm a fitness person, and then they're going to read that I empower women through fitness and change lives through transformations. So make sure your bio is up to date. Make sure your profile picture reflects what you're doing. And then do a profile cleanup. If you have old party pictures, or if you have tons of cat videos, or just strange things on your Facebook that's not very professional, and that's the image you're trying to present, I highly suggest doing an overhaul on your Facebook page and really making your personal profile page. Because even if you have a page, people are still going to check you out as an individual. And just make sure that it's optimized and really putting off that message that you're trying to sell or the service that you're trying to sell.
Right. Since we're talking about that, I haven't met, well, I have, but not very many. The numbers are really high. Anyone, a female who uses Instagram is always wanting to get more Instagram followers. And then
Yeah.
I'll ask them, like, why do you want more Instagram followers? And they can't answer it. I'm like, you just want them just to feel good?
Yeah.
Or are you wanting to, attract a certain person to build a certain brand? I said, that's what you should want to do. Because if you're anything, YouTube, Instagram, not just Instagram, but whatever you're doing, having purpose in mind, not to make you feel good, because that is not real.
Right.
But when people pay you, that's real.
Exactly. And one of my business coaches that I work for, and they'll say numbers does not equal dollars. So you can start out with even a small amount of followers on either your Facebook or Instagram, and if all you need is like 10 people that follow you that are willing to pay for your services, you don't need 10,000 to pick from still only 10. I mean, numbers are just, people can get caught up in it just being a feel good thing, but if you have something to offer, don't feel like, well, I don't have 100,000 followers, so I'll never make any money. Like,
right. I mean, there's people that I've met that have 100, 200,000 followers that I make more money than them off of mine. Yeah. It's like, so what? You got all that. I mean, but what's the purpose? Is it just to make you feel good? I suggest that if that is why someone does it, I'm not judging anyone, but that's a road to disaster. Just, it's like, come on now.
I wonder if I think they've diagnosed that already or called it something.
Oh, have they?
I think so. I think I've seen something about that where it's just like you get some sort of high or some sort of validation from followers or number of followers, and people, or likes, or even just interaction. Like, people will base their self-worth on. I mean, just on, well, I didn't get this many likes, or take it down if they don't get enough likes or whatever. Like I've learned over the years some things, and this is sometimes surprising me, like the content that does really well versus the content I expect to do really well and just totally doesn't go anywhere. So just put it out there. It doesn't matter how many views you get. It doesn't matter how many likes you get. If you're putting out a message to a specific client, the right people are going to be the ones that hear it. The right people are going to be the ones that interact with it. And that's all you need. Who cares? Like, don't get caught up in the numbers game. Get caught up on like, who are you actually reaching? And if it's your target market and your target audience, then that's all you need to worry about. If money
and are they engaging, and are they asking you buying questions and wanting to meet, talk with you more about, joining your group or paid group or whatever it is. Totally understand that. I think we all have been guilty of those in the beginning when it came out. Because you get caught up in it. So we had talked a little bit about stories. Like, how do you feel about Instagrams? So now your ideal client. The attention part is using the right tools, because there's tools that are available that people just maybe are tweaking it a little bit and understanding how to use it. How do you feel about stories?
I actually really like stories. I was a little resistant to it at first because I'm like, oh, it's just another Snapchat. But I actually personally don't use Snapchat because I was just like, I don't want to take the time to learn this right now. So, and then when Instagram came out, I'm like, okay, let me play with this. But I've actually grown to really like it, and I actually love following. For example, Jennifer Lopez is one of my favorite people to follow, her and Alex Rodriguez, because what stories does, it allows you into behind the scenes of everybody's life. So like all these famous people that I follow, I get to see what they're eating for lunch. I get to see them sweaty at their workouts. I get to see them getting ready for their award ceremonies. So I actually really enjoyed it because it takes a little bit away of the perfected, curated, perfect Instagrams. Like you see, I mean, Jennifer Lopez doesn't have a bad picture on her Instagram, but you go onto her, watch her stories, you're going to see her sweaty, you're going to see her with her kids, you're going to see her with no makeup on. So the stories have really kind of allowed you to share another aspect of your life beyond just the perfect curated pictures, and show like the real version of you. You can get it a chance to connect more one-on-one with individuals, with celebrities, with people you enjoy and follow. And I've made some amazing connections just by commenting on people's stories, or like, enjoying watching them, or them following me back. So it's a real cool way to connect and be a little bit more relatable and be a little bit more real and authentic with your audience.
I'm so glad you said that, because I feel the same way. It's when you watch these stories, right? So I'm going to say something that sounds crazy, but I was following Lady Gaga. And it was on Snapchat though, but same thing. And she was going to be performing at the Grammys. And I followed her throughout the whole day. And I mean, it was as if because you would watch it, and literally minutes later you would get to experience it. And like, I know what she's doing like right now, not 14 days ago or a year ago. And I got to see what it was like to be Lady Gaga or be her friend, basically, because you feel like you know them. And follow her from picking the dress or whatever, or putting her dress on, all the way to when she was being introduced to open up and walk out. I mean, it was like that intimate. Like there is no other time in history or in television that everyone had the ability to like experience that. I mean, you almost felt like you got to experience what it would be like to sing at the Grammys. And it's those things that share in those moments, like you said, with Jennifer Lopez or whoever it is that you like, that you feel like you know them. Because the media, I mean, they're just marketers. They will spin the message, whether it's, we're gonna make Barack Obama this awesome person and Donald Trump this bad person. The media decides that. What's that?
That's exactly. They just create whatever story they want. They tailor it to the view and perspective they want you to know it as.
So the thing about stories and getting the attention is that no one will do business with someone that they don't feel like they like or know. And stories is the most intimate out of all of them. Like you could get them with the post, like shows like this, people get to see your mannerisms, hear your voice, things that you say, the slip ups, the mistakes, and they feel like, wow, that's my friend. I feel like I know her. I could hang out with her. I could drink wine with her. I would love to hear more stories about her that you can't experience anywhere else.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's kind of the reason why I chose to do my Facebook show live, was also because there's one thing to scroll past a video and see a video and like, maybe I'll watch it, maybe I won't. But when you scroll by something and you see that it's live, you're more inclined to like click on it to see what's going on, because, oh, maybe they're going to mess up, or, oh, maybe they're like, I have a chance to interact with them. If I'm watching, I can ask them a question, or I can comment, and they might even acknowledge me from wherever they are. I'm like, hey, Sharon, thanks for watching in North Dakota. Like, there's something about that makes them feel good. And of course you feel good too when you get to have that interaction with somebody. But there is something about just being live and in the moment, and you're real. And like, if you mess up, you mess up. Like, my whole shelf could fall. Like, who knows what can happen when it's live. So
right.
Cool aspect of it.
Right. I mean, but you know, I'm 100. I mean, I actually create a younedashow.com because I'm an advocate for that. That having a show, because not everyone is entertaining. Not everyone can, you know, if you watch people like Charlie Rose and those type of people, he wasn't like this super, you know, interesting person.
Yeah.
If you're not, you can just bring on guests that are. All you have to do is ask them questions and let them, you know, be your attention getting content for your clients. So I definitely am on board for that. Advocate for a show, because it's so many avenues that you can go with having a show. And inevitably, a show can actually generate a great income all on its own, outside of whatever it is that someone is doing. So I want to give you opportunity to wrap it up, because I promised you it wouldn't be longer than 30 minutes.
No worries. No, I'm just excited. Thank you for the opportunity. It's kind of always fun to talk marketing and social media, because that is one of the things I do enjoy. I appreciate the invitation to be on your show, and I'm excited for mine tomorrow. And for all the viewers watching, or those who are watching on the replay, thanks for taking the time to listen to us chat social media. If you have any questions about it, or how to create your profile and make it better, feel free to reach out to either one of us, because we're always more than happy to help and support.
So if people wanted to reach out to you, what would be the best way that they could get a hold of you? And then tell them your show, where they could go
actually, you can just follow me. I do have a page, but I launch my show from my profile. So feel free to send me a friend request, or you can also just follow me. But my show will be on my profile. So not on my page, but on my profile. Facebook Messenger works. I'm going to be honest, I get a lot of messages. So if I don't respond right away, sometimes I read them and then I come back and respond. So I will respond to everybody who reaches out. But yes, I'm always more than happy to talk to people and help where I can. But yes, Thursday nights at 7 p.m.
Well, Bridget, I always appreciate because you give me the one thing that is the most valuable thing, and that's your time. And the audience gave us our time to enjoy hearing some of the things that you shared. So I appreciate you taking the time to do that. For those of you who are not already currently following me on the Facebook Think Like a Marketer show page, you can go there, like, follow, share if you enjoy the content. We always bring on interesting guests. Sometimes it's topics that you may enjoy, and sometimes they're not. But I try to revolve around entrepreneurship, marketing, and innovation. Like what are people doing with the current technology that maybe you aren't? So having guests come on and share their ideas, and you may just get one thing. It just takes one thing to make the difference that gets you over the edge. Either solve that problem or realize that somebody is out there that's went through something that you went through. So I thank everybody who has come on. If you're the type that doesn't like watching videos, you don't have the time, you can go to iTunes and listen to the audio while you're doing housework, mowing the yard, washing dishes, or cooking, or whatever it is that you do. And I recently rolled out, for those of you who are considering having a show, want to create some content for your ideal clients. A show is a great way to do that. You can go to younedashow.com. That's younedashow.com. And thanks, everybody. And Bridget, you have a wonderful evening.